What's up, guys? Steven here. So we've talked a lot about the trouble that came to the right after the Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes interview and how that really stirred things up. Well, Tucker was recently on the Shawn Ryan show and talked about what he learned from that meeting with Nick Fuentes. It's only about a 10-minute segment and I'm eager to find out, so let's dive in.
That's really what I learned, is that the people who are mad at me call me names because that's literally all they can do. Shut up! You can't speak at that event. We don't want you on stage. We're deplatforming you. Okay, I don't care really, but like,
who's saying that to you?
Oh, yeah, what?
I
don't even want to go through. I don't want to make it about me because I'm certainly not oppressed, and you haven't impressed my spirit. You could fucking shoot me, and you're not going to impress my spirit. It's just,
I'm just asking because I still see you all over the place. I saw you.
Of course. But I guess all I'm saying is, no, I
think you were just with Megyn Kelly and her tour. And
Megyn Kelly is a tough woman, man. She's for real. And I mean, she's more for real than people know. I'm not saying she agrees with me on everything. She doesn't. And by the way, she doesn't agree with it. She's like, I don't agree with you. She's like that tough. She'll just tell you.
Dude, Tucker's laugh, man.
But you can't make Megyn Kelly take a position. You just can't. Just won't. Megyn Kelly just absolutely will not. If she agrees, of course she'll agree. But if she doesn't agree, you're not going to scare her into agreeing. Mm-hmm. There aren't a ton of people like that. There are some. They're all my friends. Even if I disagree with them, I just love people like that, and I want to be around them.
Yeah, I mean,
she's one of them.
I think it's good to have people in your circle that you disagree with and people that have different opinions from you. You have to. If you're surrounded by yes men, it's a real risk to jumping into some pretty crazy ideas and just having them reinforced over and over and over. It's good to have people with different opinions. Surround yourself with people with different life experiences and stuff like that, and listen to them and hear them out. And if what they say doesn't make any sense to you, then don't follow it. If what they say or think makes more sense to you than what you've processed based on what they've been through, go with it.
No, but what's interesting is not that they've like really inconvenienced me. They haven't. It's that they've revealed who they are. So like they did this with Fuentes. This is the thing I learned, is that Fuentes, I didn't know much about him, to be honest. I'm just too old for this shit. It's not my generation, so I just didn't know. But Nick Fuentes first became known freshman year of college, like first month of college. He's a student at BU, and he put something on the internet, Twitter or something, and basically like, why does Israel control our Congress? Something like that. He's a college freshman. And Ben Shapiro, sitting at like command center somewhere, is like, what? A college student who's not on board with the program? Destroy him. And Ben Shapiro tries to, quote, cancel this kid. He's a fucking college student. He's a freshman from Chicago. Rather than just call the guy and be like,
radicalize anybody,
actually,
right?
I saw what you said. I don't like it. But there are reasons that we're allied with Israel, and like it really helps us. Or whatever, make your case whatever your case is. His first instinct was, this man must be destroyed. He can never have a job in Con Inc.
That's the problem with cancel culture, right? Is that when you try and silence people with different opinions and just completely shut them down and try and do whatever you can to ruin them, it only reinforces it. It's like the Streisand effect, right? If you try not talk about something, it ends up being all you end up talking about. So the whole idea of shutting someone down because they question something or ask a question you don't like it's completely counter to any kind of like mental progress or anything. Even if you think it's a dumb question or an offensive question, if they have that question, other people probably have that question. So let people debate, man. Let the best ideas win.
No one can hire him. And have that work for you, Ben Shapiro. Well, of course, it didn't work at all. Nick Fuentes is way bigger than Ben Shapiro has ever been, way more influential than Ben Shapiro has ever been. You can't cancel an idea. It just does not work.
I don't know. Is Nick bigger than Ben?
Okay, how'd that work? World's biggest religion.
I mean, Ben's got his own media company and everything.
And any wise person knows that. So the only way, liberals used to say that.
I mean, definitely with the youth, with like men in their 20s and 30s, I would say Nick Fuentes is much more influential. But I don't know if I would say Nick Fuentes is bigger than Ben Shapiro.
They don't believe it apparently anymore. But the only way to stop bad ideas is by countering them with good ideas. You want to
Agreed.
defeat lies, tell the truth. It's literally that simple. And as if I needed to be reminded of that the last month, I don't think a single person.
That's why, whenever I've had a hater or somebody just trying to attack me in general, I never am too worried about it because I know I'm coming usually from a good place or a place of truth. I don't really attack people or have some vendetta against people or certain figures or anything else. It's just, I just tell it how I see it. Now, if they bring to me new information and are able to tell me something I didn't know and open my eyes to seeing things from their perspective, then great. I'll happily apologize if my take is wrong or amend my take or whatever it may be, but I'm not scared of speaking my opinion.
Has ever made the case that I'm wrong, that Nick Fuentes is wrong. The Jew hatred stuff is wrong, period.
100%.
I said that. The white hatred, black hatred, Jew hatred, Malaysian hatred, Bedouin hatred, it's all wrong.
All the hatred is wrong, man. That's the only thing I don't really like about Nick is he says a lot of controversial stuff, and I think most of it is to get, clicks and to just get his voice more out there since he was canceled and deplatformed off a lot of stuff and everything else. He says shocking things so that it gets passed around, and he says them in a funny way or whatever else. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, he does say some pretty off the cuff stuff sometimes. But I think it's mostly clip farming. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on it, but I don't know. I don't think you should clip farm that kind of stuff personally. I mean, I'm in the same type of industry, right? Like I'm trying to get clicks on my videos and shares on my videos. So it'd be really easy for me to say something out of pocket and then spread that clip around and people are going to be like, oh shoot, I got to check out that video. And maybe that's more effective in the long run because it brings people around and then they listen to the longer point. But I think if you're sowing any kind of hatred towards a particular group of people, it's a pretty scary thing to do. I mean, I don't know how I'd be able to live with myself if I knew someone acted on that in some way.
I believe that as much as I believe anything. Okay. But the rest of it, his analysis, which is actually smart and in a lot of cases true, no one's even attempted to rebut it. 95% or whatever the number is of members of Congress take AIPAC money. How is that good? Shut up, Nazi!
Yeah, that's the part that really gets me.
So
about
if that's your
Nick
only
is,
defense,
like people like Shapiro only attack the outrageous thing he says and never attack it. You saw a real similar thing with like Andrew Tate. He's another figure that says a lot of outrageous stuff, gets him a lot of views, gets him a lot of attention. If you listen to 95% of his message, though, I would say I agree with almost all of it. Smart man, eloquent in the way he speaks, everything else. But then that 5%, he's very crass, abhorrent, and I don't know. Is that the media of the future? Do you have to come out and say some crass, vulgar, attention-grabbing thing and then fill the context with intelligent dialogue? I just feel like there's got to be a better way to get your message across than that.
you've lost. You've lost. You didn't even enter the game. We're playing different games. I'm trying to tell the truth, convince people that what I think is true is actually true. And you're trying to make me be quiet because you don't like it. You can shoot me or you can shoot everybody, but it doesn't go away because the truth is an immovable object. It just exists and you conform to it or you don't, but it doesn't change because it's nature.
Why do you think you got so much shit for having him on? He's been on other stuff.
Yeah.
He's been on...
Well,
on a
I got
bunch
shit
of stuff.
precisely because I'm not an anti-Semite. That was the whole point. I mean, if David Duke
some would
or
disagree.
whatever, pick an I don't know, even though there are many, I'm sure there are famous
But
anti-Semites.
they pretty much call everybody that
Duke is a famous
nowadays.
anti-Semite. If David Duke interviewed
I've been called both an anti-Semite and an APAC plant, so that's cool.
Fuentes, they'd be like, oh, they wouldn't say anything. Whatever, who cares? They're talking to each other. But if some
Like y'all, if I'm backed by APAC, I think they do a little bit better with my following than what I got. Let's be real.
openly opposed and sincerely opposed to hating people on the basis of their bloodline, which I definitely am, interviews Nick Fuentes and is like, hey, Nick Fuentes, stop with the Jew hatred, but let's talk about your views on the betrayal of Republican voters by conservative institutions and the undue influence a foreign country has over our government. Those are entirely reasonable conversations, and they're scary because they are reasonable. They're very difficult to refute. You have to, like, what's the counter argument? The country should be controlled by a country of 9 million people? Like, what are you even saying? No one agrees with that. So if a reasonable person says it, that is an actual threat. And they were like, well, must destroy him and his son and his brother. And it's like, I'm not afraid of you, man. I'm just not. And not because I'm so tough or brave or whatever, but because why would I be? You call me names and I'm gonna, you're not telling the truth and you know you're not. You start saying things about me that are true, that I'm trying to hide, whatever those might be. I'll get in fetal position, hide in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like that strikes home for me. Like as somebody who's received a fair amount of hate on social media, and I've been doing this stuff for 6 years now. Like it's crazy the lies that get made up about you, but then like they're always attacking you on BS. That's like not even true. Like at least attack you with the truth. If I did something wrong, harp on that for the next 2 years, but don't just make up something in your brain and then go after me for it. It's crazy. It's wild. And it seems like it's a new type of like psychosis we have in our society. I don't know.
But you throw lies at me? I'm totally unintimidated. And anyone who believes that, I'm sorry. I'll just say it again. Here's the truth. Don't believe I can't control that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's why they don't like me. Not because I'm extraordinarily brave. I'm not. Definitely not because I'm extraordinarily smart. I'm not. But because they don't have an actual argument. So all they can do is destroy. And I think they've reached kind of the limit. Like, what's the next stage? That does concern me.
Yeah, the next stage is taking you out.
But we're moving into a new time for sure. Now, after the last month, and there are a number of fairly influential people on the right who've just basically said out loud, I'm for censorship and identity politics.
Yeah.
We just had an election a year ago this month in which Republicans won because they were opposed to, let's say it, censorship and identity politics. And then their voters find out that a lot of the leaders of the party are totally for censorship and identity politics. How does this continue? Well, I'm out. I mean, I know that, but so are a lot of other people.
This is exactly why I say, like, I'm not right, I'm not left, I'm not Democrat or Republican. Like, I will never pledge allegiance to one party over another. I'm sorry. Even if down the road I end up running for political office, I would pull the Trump move, man. I would be like, hey, if you guys elect me, I'm in, but if you guys don't pick me for your candidate, I might run independent. Because like I don't think your allegiance can be to a party. I understand the idea of like joining together to win. I think in particular elections, that's great, right? If you're trying to get Trump into office after the mess we had with 4 years of Biden, then great. Everybody lock arms as Republicans. As soon as he gets in office, though, I think you drop that. You hold him accountable to delivering on what he promised the voters. You could be a Democrat, you can be a Republican. Any of you guys should be holding him accountable to what he promised the voters. Mass deportations, draining the swamp, getting rid of the fraud, ending woke culture ideology, protecting our children, bringing back the economy. These are all the big premises that he ran on. And so if you don't think he's delivering on one of those, you should be beating the drum for that issue. And I think a lot of politicians get too comfortable once they have party protection, once they're protected by the Republicans or protected by the Democrats, then they can kind of do whatever corrupt things they want because they're going to get the votes from that side irregardless. I think that's a horrible way of looking at it. I'm not for party. I'm for what's best for the people. I could give a crud if it's the Democrats, the Republicans. I'm looking out for me, my family, my community, my state, my country, so on and so forth. And whatever party you're pledging allegiance to, if you're delivering on the promises that I think benefit those groups, then you're who I'm going to vote for. You're who I'm going to throw support up behind. You're who I'm going to talk about their policies. It just so happens that the Republicans are a lot less crazy right now than the Democrats. But let's not forget the Bush administration and just, a couple decades ago. So the shoe was on the complete other foot at that time. It's going to change and it's going to flip. So saying you're Republican no matter what, well, you know, what if next election the Republicans decide to put up and win the primaries and everything as the right-wing version of Joe Biden? Are you still going to vote for him? No, I wouldn't. I mean,
never vote. I don't care what you call yourself. If you're for censorship and identity politics, two things that I truly, on principle as a Christian, oppose, I'm not voting for you. Period. Ever. So that's like a big, big change. Like the veil is dropped. We can see, like, you're walking back from the shower and your towel slipped, and I saw what you look like naked. I can't unsee that. Right? Has that ever happened to you?
I do think some people like Tucker are making kind of a mountain out of a molehill here, though. Because I think Trump has done a lot right so far. And I think the Democrats have made it as difficult as possible for him to get policy through. And a lot of the Republicans that are showing their true colors of pretty much selling their vote to the highest bidder have continued to do this. I mean, it's not new, right? We knew these people were corrupt. I don't know how they still have their seats and why they still have their seats, like Nancy Pelosi finally retiring, but like there's plenty of Republicans that need to retire too from Congress. Some new people in there that actually have some fresh ideas and understand the world nowadays that didn't start in Congress before the internet or the cell phone existed.
Mm-hmm. You see what someone looks like naked and you're like, oh, I want this out of my head. I don't want to know. I saw your appendix scar. It's like,
oh man.
Right. So I don't know. I never know anything that's coming. You can't, it's always something different from what you thought. But as of right now, I think it's like November, probably. It's before Thanksgiving right now. I know for certain that we're in for big change.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tucker, so that's what Tucker says he learned from Nick. I think there is a lot more he could have picked up on there. I think Tucker must have been very oblivious to the fact that the right wing was just as much a part of cancel culture as the left wing. They just canceled you for different things, but it's very true. I mean, look at, people like Alex Jones and everything else. Like, there's all sorts of unpopular political opinions that have been completely cast out and not allowed to be part of the debate. Now, if you allow them to be part of the debate and they show how stupid and not facts-based their opinions are, then in the marketplace of good ideas, they'll garner some audience, but not mainstream. But I think Tucker is just as much a part of that kind of conservative ruling class as Ben Shapiro is. And the only way he breaks that is to continue to bring on more controversial voices like Nick Fuentes, more people speaking to the youth, more people speaking to modern day issues, whether it be controversial or not. The tagline for this is we're in for a big change. And I agree. I think the media is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, much as you see with the music industry nowadays, where you have big stars blow up, make millions of dollars, and you've never even heard of them because they've never played on the radio or any mainstream television network. They blew up through independent sources, stayed independent, made a lot more money doing it that way, and are popular across the nation, even though nobody big is playing them. I think punditry, news, commentary is going to follow the same route, and it's already followed the same route. You're going to have a lot more people like Charlie Kirk and a lot more people like Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, so on and so forth. There will be more diversity in the marketplace of ideas, and I think that scares the mainstream establishment because they can't control you directly through the media like they could back when Tucker was on Fox. Back then, if you were right-wing, Fox News told you exactly what to think, and if you were left-wing, CNN and MSNBC told you exactly what to think. There were only two opinions going at it, and that's all there was. Now there's a whole bunch of opinions in the middle. People who share conservative values, but maybe don't think the Republican candidate is doing the job. Or like Tucker's example, where he doesn't agree with what a lot of these Republican lawmakers that he thought were on the same side are actually for censorship and other things that he doesn't appreciate. I think this is a good change in the long run, and I hope we continue down that path. More people expressing their opinion is not a bad thing, and more people having open dialogue is not a bad thing. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. Let's get back to work. Keep on praying. I'll see you in the next one.